don't like swears. This is probably going to be pretty filthy. If you're hiding a small child behind you, and you're cool with them hearing a lot of curse words and probably some jokes about fingers up buttholes, then great. But we don't want children running crying from the room.
We're using the word probably a lot. That wasn't.
Not true.
Yeah,
Definitely
will be
definitely
fingers up buttholes.
That's our style. Fingers up buttholes for life.
The podcast.
The
woman.
podcast.
A little secret.
All right.
It's a lady's secret.
It's a lady's secret.
Woman's secret.
Are we recording?
Yeah.
Cheers, go.
Are we just doing it? Hold on.
Let's just do it. Oh,
Let me get my.
Let me check my face.
All right, butthole.
okay.
I'm regretting
This
my
is our
song,
bit.
by the way.
wait,
We're this
wow.
messy. This is good.
We ready? Are we ready?
Yes.
Here we go.
Okay, hello. Welcome to Podlander Drunkcast, an Outlander podcast where we always start with opening some cans. I am the moderator, Amelia Bazell, although we all know that these people cannot be tamed. But who are these people who cannot be tamed or moderated in any way? Let me tell you, closest to me we have Julie Starbird.
Hello.
Then we have Allison Shoemaker. And then we have Janine on the end. And Janine is dressed as Santa Claus.
It's fucking festive.
So tonight you're going to hear some live fanfic about Outlander. And it's going to be a wild ride. It's never been a sane or linear ride, and we wouldn't have it any other way, quite frankly. But there's a bit of business up top before all the fingers and the buttholes meet. First of all, who here has heard our podcast before? Yes,
Thank
front
you,
row.
front
What's up?
row.
Oh my God.
A
Okay.
students.
Oh, and also, thank you, all of you who are
You need to
here
spread
at
out.
7 p.m. and have no idea what's about to
no.
This is so
happen.
exciting.
You
So
need to spread
nervous.
out amongst the
Oh my
classroom.
God, I'm so honored.
Oh, gosh.
Thank you.
That's really great. Oh boy. Okay.
Remember
so
what
you
you said about swears?
New friends, I am here to help you. For so many reasons. There is so much linguistic inside baseball going on that unless someone is out here listening for it, they're just going to run with it. So, for instance, if they bring up Coinface, I may say, hold up. Who's Coinface?
Lord John Gray.
Duh.
Why?
He's got a perfect profile.
He's got the right profile.
And that's why he's called Coinface, etc. I am here to help translate what is happening up here for you. Finally, we have one more piece of business. Who believes they have traveled the farthest to be here today? It's okay if you're worried you look conceited. We're all friends
No,
here.
let's see. Is anybody not from Chicago? Okay, so a lot of you. Is anybody not from Illinois? Great.
Okay.
Is anybody not from the Midwest? All right,
Okay.
everybody's from the Midwest.
Okay.
I don't know. Who drove more than 4 hours to get here?
Okay.
Ooh, it's the neck and neck between these two groups.
All right, you know what? Why don't we just do the
Between
groups?
the groups, okay.
Yeah, you have a responsibility should you choose to accept it. It's very simple, and it mostly just involves making us sweat.
Yes,
Tell the
okay.
people.
Okay, our nearest group, your phrase is going to be, Je suis prêt. And when, at any point during this story, you are allowed to shout it out. And as a result,
We'll switch to doing the fanfic one word at a time.
down the
Down
line.
the row.
Now, does tout le card mean the same thing or does it mean something else?
It's a charge. Yes, it's the same thing.
It's the same thing. Okay, also, other group.
to the cards.
Same thing happens, but tout le card is yours. Please make us feel weird.
I don't know.
I'll run the timer. It'll happen for 1 minute, and then we'll continue on with our lives. Any other business?
Repeat that one more time.
Oh, yeah. Tout le card!
At
Is
any
it the-
point in the show where you want to fuck with us, you yell once, just the once.
Yeah,
If you do it more
only
than
once.
once, I'm never
You're
going to
outta
speak
here.
to you again, personally.
You're out of here. You're killing
No.
me.
Sorry, what?
One of the group.
As a group, decide together.
We're
You
already
yell,
nervous.
"To the card!" And that means that we have to stop whatever we are doing and switch to saying like there,
Was.
Hey,
boob,
On.
my.
street, like
Yeah.
that.
For 1 minute, and I'll time.
For a whole minute.
For a whole
And I'll
minute.
tell you
Y'all,
what, it
it's not
feels
good.
like 10.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good.
All right. Any other business?
I think that's it. All right.
All right.
Story time, folks.
Okay.
Here we go.
Should I interrupt us at some point to do the opening nonsense? No, Amelia did it.
Yeah.
Well, we pulled it in, guess, and all the magazines, Yep.
We are very committed to Us.
The bit.
The bit.
All right.
How do we begin?
How do we do this? What now?
Is it a last time on Outlander situation
Yes.
where we each
previously
have...
on Outlander.
Previously
You start.
on Outlander.
Previously on Outlander, Jamie was riding through the woods on his horse and looking for signs of deer.
Okay.
That was complicated.
Question. Can I have a question?
Please.
Deer or a deer? Or the deer?
The deer.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
The deer.
All right. So that's one plot thread.
You next.
My plot thread, I think this time is going to have to do with want it to be a lady. We go to Galus a lot. Obviously, there's Claire. I'm going to do a day in the life of hot piss lady.
Hot piss lady.
Yeah, I'm going hot piss lady.
And as a reminder, Hot Piss Lady is from season 1.
Yes.
Please.
By that we mean hot pass Claire. When they're doing the, oh, I am singing a song about
Walking
the pee
wall.
that's on my hands. I am gonna
So-
sing the song while I am walking the wall. Beautiful day in the morning.
Exactly. So my story is going to have to do with her. And
'Kay.
let's see. So my title card is her, hot
Okay.
piss lady. I guess I should come up with a name, right? What's a good, like, Gaelic name? Shabone.
Sure.
In fact, Shabone is perfect because Bone is going to come into this.
Bone's gonna be there.
Right.
Bone is
Yeah.
going to be there, whether it's in her name or inside her, to be determined.
And mine is, wee Ian looks at Fergus with his big, innocent, pre-Mohawk eyes, and he says, oh, but tell me more of this story of yours. I forget what he actually says. And then Fergus goes, two girls, one moi.
Oh my God. So we're getting a Fergus?
I don't know.
Ooh, all right.
I don't know. It's
Okay.
just previously on Outlander.
Previously on Outlander. So those are our 3 plot threads.
All right, so now it's time for the opening credits. And then you're going to do the title card because it's your special favorite.
Okay.
Okay. Does anyone want to sing this stupid song with us?
Yes, thank you. Okay.
I don't know any of the words.
Sing me a song of a lass that is gone. Sing that lass behind. Bury a soul she sailed on a name over the sea to sky. Billows and breeze, something and knees, mountains of banks and sighs. Okay.
We're done. All right.
That's heavy work.
Mrs. Graham and her Dick Rock dancers have taken a bow. And now the title card.
Is hot piss lady,
Okay.
Shabone,
Shabone.
looking behind her through her window, and then one hand coming up her hand to push aside a curtain where there is tacks on a wall with pieces of gray wool tied in between them all, kind of like, what's her name in Homeland? Or what's his name in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
She has a murder board?
It's not just a murder board, it's more like a plot board.
This
Like,
is the hot
she
pass
saw
lady?
something and she has to
Shabone?
bring it together. And it's all on
It's
Shabone.
like the It's Always Sunny meme?
Yes, that's what I'm talking
Right,
about.
okay.
It's her looking at her yarn that she made out of the wool she walked.
Oh, great. Another time traveler. Hold on. What is the title?
The title is Shabone That Thread.
We fade up.
Sweet.
From the title card. Crossfade. It's a crossfade. That's a crossfade. That's a crossfade. We crossfade from the title card to the wilds of Scotland. There are sheep and deer. Multiple deer, not the deer. Not the credits deer. He's elsewhere.
Yeah.
Deer and heather and rolling hills and wee lasses in Scotland. So we're in Scotland. We see on the horizon a small figure coming over a hill, and he appears to be walking with something of a limp, almost as though he has one leg that's a leg and one leg that's a piece of wood.
That's inside baseball right there.
It's Ian. It's Big Ian. We see him walking through Scotland, And he is going to.
The woods.
Great.
Yeah,
Okay.
the woods.
Just the woods of
He's,
Scotland.
well,
the
but he's
woods.
going. Here's the thing. He's going into the woods.
To find the girl to go to the festival.
And
Yeah.
something about beans.
This is some finding beans in the
To
woods.
sell the cow
Yeah. Yeah.
a loaf of bread.
And give it to the giant or some shit.
Yeah. But it's really Glasgow.
Oh, what? What? So are you calling it,
city?
when you say the woods, are you referring to the concrete jungle?
Yeah. This is
Okay.
a foreign place for Ian.
Wait, are you saying he traveled in time?
Huh?
He traveled in time?
This is the very old Glasgow.
Okay, got it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. There's
Just a commute.
So he comes over a hill and walks into Glasgow, and what does he do?
I don't know, Julie. What does he do?
He goes into a fucking pub, duh.
Okay. All right. The door swings open. Ian enters the pub and he looks around kind of nervously. He's obviously looking to find someone, to talk to someone, but he's just not sure who it is. He's never met this woman, so he's trying to figure out. She said she was going to be wearing a red carnation. So he looks around and he sees a woman with surprisingly well exfoliated hands sitting at a table with a red carnation, and she beckons kind of discreetly. Over here. Oh, sorry. Over here. Over here. And he walks on over. He walks over. God, he's really hot.
He is really
Anyway,
hot. Daddy is hot.
He's real hot. He walks over and he takes a seat and he looks at her a wee bit suspiciously, and he says, "You're being shibborn then."
Her really well exfoliated hands, huh?
Yeah,
From
they
all
give
that,
away.
from all that uric acid, huh?
Walking all that wool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
You'll be shibborn then.
that'll be me. You'll be Daddy. Or is that your code name?
Pardon me, lass. You'll be calling me Mr. Fraser.
Well
I do
said.
not know what you think you are about with this mystery that you're solving with the help of your friends and your magical van and your talking dog. But there is no mystery here. My sister-in-law is not a witch. My brother-in-law is also not a witch. And my wife is the finest piece of ass this side of Glasgow. And also the other side of Glasgow, because we are in Glasgow. So, I understand you want to ask me some questions. Ask your questions, lass, and then I'll be on my way home. And it took me a long time to walk here.
On account of the leg?
No on account of the fact that it's 400 miles long.
But that just means he will walk 400 miles.
And he would walk 400
400 more.
He would. I'm sorry to everyone in this audience.
No, I think that was great.
So, Shibble, what is it you're wanting to ask me, lass?
Well, I'm glad we finally got around to talking about it. And she pulls out an enormous briefcase. And she opens the locks, pulls back the lid, and then inside she has a trove of documents. And she pulls them out and starts shuffling through them.
Is this briefcase from the future?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, it's like 1980s Gordon Gekko style.
So then I think Ian would then look at that and go, what?
What the fuck is
What-
that thing?
what a
Yes, he
fine-
did.
Pardon me, lass. Where did you get this newfangled box with a handle?
Brooks Brothers.
I don't know either of the Brookses that well, but I do not think that they make boxes with handles and wee turny thingies with numbers on them.
Would you like a closer look?
And he slides the briefcase over and he looks in it, and he says, "Wow, this painting is very detailed and shiny. And why does it say Kodak on the back?"
Mr. Daddy.
Mr. Fraser.
Sorry, Mr. Fraser.
Only my wife and children call me daddy, and also these American bitches.
What would you say if I told... So now I'm the fucking Count Saint-Germain.
Okay.
What would you say if I told you that this painting, as you say, was taken by a machine box, not painted by a human?
A machine box? Is this box a machine?
No, it didn't come from the... You know what? Never mind. What year is it right now, Mr. Fraser?
It is 17 blues and
Sweet. It feels really good in 17, blah, 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 but I'm coming to you from 1995, and here are the things that I have learned about Claire Fraser.
Are you a witch?
No, well...
I mean, I was wondering how it is that you got your hands to be so soft and smooth.
Do you really want that secret? Because once you know it, you can never go back.
Oh, now you're Irish.
Yeah, I know. It's all over the place.
Once you go to Milwaukee, you never go back.
Ah. Yes, they are very smooth. I haven't had a chance to walk my wool in quite a while. I'm glad to be back in Scotland. But you see, I'm a traveler. And you know who else is? Claire Fraser.
Your wife! Well, I don't know about that. Because, you see, when she disappeared, she really just went over to Paris and then for some reason never came back or told us that she had a daughter. She just was there and stuff, and then she came back.
Exhibit A, a photo of Claire Fraser in 1967 looking very fetching in some amazing eye makeup and a wonderful car jacket. Slides across the table.
I have another question about the tiny human in the box that paints the pictures.
You know what? I think that's better left unsaid.
Okay. Sorry. Oh God, anachronism.
Exhibit B, a photo of Claire Fraser in 1953, pregnant. But look at that maternity dress. Does that look like anything anyone in Scotland wears?
I mean, it does look a great deal like a shaft.
Yes, all right. What could I say to convince you that Claire Fraser is a witch?
Nothing. I tried to burn her once and it didn't work out. No, I didn't. Why did I say that? He would never. Hold on. Nothing. I trust Claire, even though she was inexplicably gone for a really long time. I trust her with my life and with my children's life, which is why my young Ian is currently in the in the colonies, in the American colonies, running around in the woods on a mountain with her.
Then Siobhan takes one look at Ian and realizes she's not going to get what she needs from him. She reaches across the table and pulls the Gordon Gekko briefcase back to her, slams it shut, click, click, locks it, stands up and says, "Good day, Mr. Fraser."
Begging your pardon, mistress. I'm sorry, I didn't get your last name. Your surname.
Nanya.
Okay. Mistress Nanya. I have to know why it is that you harbor this suspicion against my goodly sister-in-law Claire.
Years and years and years of deep research. Good day, sir!
And he watches her go, and he drinks the rest of his beer, and he goes, "Well!" And he stands up and slowly starts walking back to Lallybrook.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't he ride a horse?
That's a question for you, my friend.
It's a question for the muse. Okay, and we cut to...
Jamie, riding silently in the woods.
In the woods.
Looking at the ground intently, looking upwards to the sky, sniffing cardinally. Cardinal?
What? Wait, is he trying to sniff the direction, or is he trying to sniff a smell?
I don't know, but I think the gummies hit.
There you go.
All right. He looks around. He's looking at tracks. He does this thing maybe. Sorry, it's an oral medium. I did the creepy thing where you lick
your fingers.
Yeah, and then you hold your fingers in the air.
That's to test where the wind's coming from, right?
Oh,
So.
boy.
Oh, I know where the wind's coming from. Right out of your ass.
Hell yeah!
So, and then he looks around and he goes, I think it went that way.
He clicks with his tongue, and the horse moves.
Works for everyone.
And as they begin to enter into a canter, suddenly he hears branches snap to his right.
Is it a man in a bear suit?
No.
No,
What is it?
it's a man in a deer suit.
So he looks up and he sees the bloodshot eyes of an obviously crazed man who has decided that he needs to seek out vengeance upon those who wrong the forest by bearing the skins of the animals they have slain on his own person and stalking the woods looking for hunters to hunt in return. The most
dangerous.
No, I'm sorry. The most dangerous game. Hunted? Are you the hunted, or the hunter, or the hunter of the hunted hunter? It was the hunter of the hunted.
I'm sorry, it blew my mind.
Sorry.
So the horse is startled,
Understandably.
No shit, Sherlock!
rears, and Jamie falls off the back of this horse.
I beg your pardon.
Hold on. He rolls out, stands to his feet.
Okay,
There
I'll allow
is.
it.
Rolls out,
A beautiful dismount.
stands to his feet, pulls out the dirk,
Duck.
the dirk, strapped to his leg. He points the dirk straight, keeping a bent elbow, knowing that he might need the leverage. As the deer man dearly passes forward, Jamie thrusts forward. The deer man jumps to the right, tries to ram Jamie with its antlers, and then Jamie did need the leverage and took him by the horns, bringing him to the ground.
He took the deer man by the horns.
Yes, antlers, same.
Okay, so the man deer is on the ground. Dead?
Confused.
Oh, so he hasn't used the duck.
Now, he looks at him, points the dirk, almost picks his nose, gives him a job of sorts. I don't know.
And he says, "Who are you?"
Yes.
And the man says, I'm just a deer man.
Jamie realizes this
I'm
man.
doing deer shit. It's
Just
rough out here.
living my life.
It's rough out here. You don't understand. For 5 seasons, I appeared regularly in the credits of a popular television show. And then one day, without warning, nothing, not a word. Not a single, they didn't even send me an email.
My agent quit answering my calls.
It was all just gone. So then I touched a circle of standing stones, and I came out here, and suddenly I was a human. And I was looking around, walking on my legs, wondering how people could make such beautiful things could be bad. And then he said, I can't sing the song World is Sued by Disney. But he wants to know why were they so cruel? So he finds a deer carcass abandoned in the woods. And I picked up, I'm switching back to first person now, and I picked up the carcass and I draped it over my shoulders and I placed the antlers on my head, and I knew in my heart it was my destiny to come out here and find the people who kill deer and leave them for dead on the side of the road. Only it's my path because cars haven't been invented yet. So instead, I wander looking for hunters who don't use all the parts of the deer. And who do I find but you, James Fraser? You, who appeared before me in the credits for 5 seasons, and did you even learn my name? It's Bob, Jamie. It's Bob.
I didn't. I'm sorry.
What good are your apologies now?
I mean, that's all I have to offer you. A man's word and my apology.
But Jamie could take him to the ridge and show him where every part of everything gets used, because that's where Parsley lives.
And then he takes him to the ridge, and then shows him the house. And the deer man said,
Wow, it smells good. What's in the stove?
Jamie looked sheepishly off to one side.
oh, shoot.
It's venison, isn't it?
It's venison.
All right. Well, I'm not eating that. That's really insensitive. But I do appreciate that you're not wasting the flesh of my forebears. So I'm gonna let it slide. But I just need to know, are there any fucking antlers on the wall in that needlessly large house with all those goddamn windows?
And Jamie, once again, his tiny glasses on the end of his nose, goes,
Great,
yes,
great.
yes.
Okay. Do you at least also use the fat to make candles and soap?
And all of a sudden, Bob turns his head dismissively at the end of that phrase, and in walks, what is Brianna's maid's name?
Lizzie?
Lizzie. Lizzie walks in, and
Lizzie
they
Weaves.
lock eyes. Bob and Lizzie lock eyes.
Oh.
And there is a shock throughout the room. Jamie, actively jumps backward a little bit, like he is even startled. A person who has experienced the truest of loves sees exactly what just happened in front of him in one instant. What's the name of the classical music that starts up when people are in love and they meet each other? And they slowly walk across the tiny kitchen towards each other.
And Lizzie reaches her small, well-exfoliated, slightly jaundiced, because she always has malaria, hand out, and places it on his face and says, Bob?
Commercial.
Commercial. Okay. We need a minute.
Guys, that was a little rough a place.
Yeah,
That was a ride.
That was a rough beginning.
Notes?
Yeah, do you have notes? Do you have notes?
I thought the deer man was inspired.
Huh?
You got notes?
Bring it on. What's up?
Tell us, please.
Things happened, people met, fun was had.
Great!
You know what? That is very
See,
positive.
I was looking for like constructive criticism, but that is a very detailed summary of what went on.
And
Thank you.
also a kind of a glow up. It felt good.
Yeah,
it was
that
nice.
felt good. That was nice.
Well, I got a note. We need more boning.
There needs to be more boning.
Just like the show always, there
Yes.
should be more boning.
There should be more boning.
Post season 2.
Also the books. Anybody who's finished the book? No one? I'm at C2E2 in an Outlander panel.
Oh, we got one. We got
Where? Yeah! You and me, buddy! You and me! No one else in this room has read Good Tale of the Beast, that I have gone.
My copy has not shown up yet.
Oh, okay.
There's
that's
supply
not-
chain
God damn
issues,
it,
and that's
Diana.
a thick book.
It is a thick book.
It's heavy.
All right.
I have a note.
Yes.
Yes.
Ian is not a Frasier.
Yeah, you kept saying Mr.
He's a Murray.
Oh.
Murray. You know what? He was
enough.
trying to protect his own identity because he had something to hide from Shabone, and we'll probably get
Retcon.
publicity.
Retcon.
Yes, that is a retcon. Please go to IMDb. Note it as a continuity error. I appreciate it. Okay.
We're about halfway through, and we still have 2 wild cards floating in the audience. Just
Great,
remind me.
great.
Don't
Okay.
forget.
So we're back from commercial.
Fuck with us.
It's night on the ledge. The house is. All the windows are ablaze with light.
So many fucking candles.
Lit by the candles of many, many dozens of dead deer.
Bob, one tear.
While out in the stable, we hear hushed voices murmuring to each other. The camera moves in slowly, too slowly, because Matthew B. Roberts never met an excess he didn't love. It moves in very slowly, goes around the corner, and Lizzie and Bob are just staring at each other.
Like in a stall,
Yes,
like down amongst the hay. On their knees, face to face, like having a full 80s teen movie
yes.
moment.
Yeah, and there's a fog machine somewhere.
Nice.
Great. And Lizzie says, I never thought to, excuse me, I never thought to see you again. Bob, where did you come from? And Bob says,
The future?
There's a lot of that going around the ridge.
It doesn't feel very unique
I
anymore.
dinna ken how it is that I know your face, but I know your face as if it were my own, only slightly less jaundiced.
This.
And then,
My face previously was that of a deer.
I shall kiss thy face. They lean together and they smooch. And Lizzie turns into a fucking deer.
what? That's a very respectful mic drop.
That's a respectful mic drop.
Yeah.
We cut to
Outside
Oh, that's canon now.
of the shed.
Yeah, Lizzie is a deer woman.
I don't know if you're aware of this, Janine.
Yeah.
But there was in the show a dog that cured cancer. Lizzie can turn into a deer.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Like,
Agreed.
isn't it? I don't know. Forget the time travel. There was a dog that cured cancer, and there was a goiter that was so big it could not be contained by a neckerchief.
Legit?
Yes, you remember Jordy?
It's not even noon.
Just checking.
He doesn't remember. It's fine.
I don't remember.
Don't worry. It's just the most important scene in the show.
Oh, wait, I remember the dog now.
The dog?
The dog who cured cancer.
Oh yeah, Mouton.
I remember that part now.
Yeah,
The
all kinds of
goiter's
illnesses.
coming.
Anyway.
I'll get there.
So we're outside the shed again, and we hear Bob quietly crying while Lizzie quietly eats hay.
Yes. It feels
Through a
like
cruel twist of fate, they were in a real Princess and the Frog situation.
and
But
by
that's
that
not what's going on outside. Outside is one Fergus Fraser. And he's wondering what it is that he just witnessed through the window, because the shed also has windows. They had extra. So he's peering in through the window and wondering why it is that strange things always seem to happen on the ridge. The veg. And he thinks to himself, I need to know more about the world.
that's right.
Oh.
And when one needs to know more about the world, Allison, where does one go?
The library.
That's correct.
Welcome to Fergus Fraser Gets a Library Card.
Yay!
This is the only thing I planned. All I wanted to do was find a way to have Fergus get a library card.
So is it a montage of him finding a library somewhere in colonial America and just throwing himself in?
Yes, and it's the kick and punch music.
Sweet.
And
it's just him, like-
There, McCreary at his best.
Is he like a lick the finger and turn the pages guy? Or is he
Well,
like a
he's-
slow peruser?
No, I'm sorry. So-
does he have the little reading
Julie,
glasses?
you're not thinking this through.
Okay, please.
He holds the book with one hand.
Of course he
And then
does.
he licks the top of his hook. And it sticks to the paper
And he pulls it over.
very gently. He's had a lot of practice. So we get a montage, supercut, of Fergus reading all kinds of books. He's reading about theories about time travel. He reads the Bible. He thought it was overrated. He starts reading about physics, and he starts reading about, I don't know, Nostradamus, and he starts reading about all kinds of crazy shit. And he looks up and he says, Zut alors, I understand. I must speak to Claire. And then he takes his library card, which is, it's a little square of wood. And somebody has wood burned Fergus Fraser. And then there's a little barcode, so it's like, and he gets back on Clarence the Mule and hightails it back up to the ridge with his new library card, which is like yay big, in his spawn.
And he comes upon Claire in her surgery with a whole bunch of bell jars and penicillin in different stages. And she's very distracted. She's taking notes. He walks in and he just stands in the doorway just watching her for a minute. And she doesn't even know he's there. And then all of a sudden she picks up something and he goes, and then she clumsily drops the bell jar. Oh no! Jesus H. Roosevelt's Christ! Oh, I'm sorry. Fergus, can I help you?
Oui. Mother Claire.
Nope, that's
clear, milady, thank you. Milady, I have a question to ask. Have you come from the future?
Okay.
Good.
I just said so that means we start with Janine. So he just asked her if she came from the future, and she said,
Whew.
Well, that's
Yes.
Yes.
From,
The
future.
but,
I'm
Also,
from,
the
now
we
all
should
exist.
forever.
not
Not.
the not move
Just
for
Ever.
what?
You skipped me. I
am
So.
confused.
and
A
Damn.
control.
freak.
And that's a minute.
But Fergus, what brought about this question? Also, I know that, I'm sorry, you caught me very by surprise. That answer made no sense at all. So let me clarify. Yes, I'm from the future. Originally, I came back through a stone circle, and I met your adopted father quite by accident when I was being pursued by a man who was not my then husband, but who looked like my then husband. Long story short, I came back.
Fergus knocks his hook on the door. Enough.
Right. Yes, dear. I'm from the future, as is Brianna,
Zut alors!
as is Roger.
Sacre bleu!
I thought you might say that.
You saw correctly. What about Jamie?
No. He doesn't travel in time. No way. No. He can't even ride a ship.
What about?
Ride a ship?
Ride a ship. Wow.
Do you think Marcelly could travel?
What is the ship?
No, Fergus dear. It's genetic. You know how some people like cilantro and other people think it tastes like soap? Time travel is like that. Only some people are just normal humans, and some people summon weird blue light into their hands sometimes, and can heal people like a dog that heals cancer, and also we touch the occasional stone surface only to find ourselves awaking in a different time.
And
Also,
suddenly
it sounds
we flash to Chabone in her as this
Ooh,
is
good,
going
hard
over
cut.
and over and over again.
Smash cut, Julie.
But you can still hear the vocal of Claire telling this
yeah,
story
yeah.
while Chabone is threading her wool on all the different hooks with photos of Fergus and Jamie and Claire and Brianna and Roger
and a deer.
and a deer and Lizzie. And there's like 3 threads between Lizzie and the deer, and she just looks at it like, I still don't get it.
And then she looks down at another corner of the bulletin board, and this one's a joke for the book readers. And she sees a pair of twins, and she's like, no, I'm not going to get to that. That's way too complicated. Let's go back to the deer problem.
And as she's looking closely at the photo of Lizzie and the credits deer and the 3 different colors of wool that connect them through like 5 different tacks, it fades back to Lizzie and the deer in the stable. And Lizzie is crying. As a deer.
As a deer.
Yes.
And Bob as a human, not a deer. Crying.
He says, what are we to do, my love?
Aww.
Perhaps this process is reversible? Let me try.
And he leans down. He leans down and he puts his mouth on her creepy deer teeth. And then there's a flash of light and a puff of smoke, and we see
a deer, and Lizzie weeps. And Lizzie goes, this is just too much. I canna ken, I dinna ken, I will not ken why it is that you must be a deer and I a lass. And when I am a deer, you are a lad. How are we ever going to make this work?
Well, so if he's a deer now, he has to go into the future, right? Because then he'll become a human, because he turns into a human when he goes to the thing. I'm trying to solve this problem for them. It's a puzzle.
And then Bob says, Bob looks at the godlike voice that just spoke from the roof of the shed, and he says, and Lizzie says, what I think Bob meant to say was, none of that made any sense. Now I just sound like Daphne from Fraser. But I guess we could try. Bob, do you know what this man that we can't see, who's probably wearing a red sparkly Santa hat, do you know what he's talking about? Blathering on about?
And then, and then Bob gives a quick grunt like this. Oh. And then rears back, hits the stable open.
What? He like Kool-Aid Man's through it?
Kool-Aid Man's through it.
So he goes like, "Hurry!"
yeah.
And it sounds like this.
He canters into the center of the stable.
You really love the word canter.
Well, because he's going to look over his shoulder now and look to Lizzie and go.
And Lizzie reaches out as if she had been born to do it and grabs his proffered left antler and he flicks his neck and she jumps on his back.
And it starts to rain.
Yes!
And they go so it's not a mere canter, it is a gallop. Do deer gallop?
Yes.
Yes.
We're going
No,
with.
because they prance. They prance.
Oh.
They prance at great velocity, like their dad just told them to run from the hunter. This is a Bambi reference. So they're prancing / galloping / running through the forest as rain licks Lizzie's face, and as her blonde hair that is not been washed in a while starts to break free of whatever piece of rope she used to tie it together, she begins to feel free for the first time in her life. And as she looks up at the bright August moon, she goes, "Oh!"
Lightning crashes.
And she turns into a deer. Now they're just two deer in love. They're in the forest. And we see behind them Marsley standing behind Fergus. They came on Clarence the Mule.
Oh.
Sitting on Clarence with Fergus, looking at them. Her mouth is just agape. And she said, I thought I had seen everything. But Fergus, you have amazed me this time. Lizzie turned into a deer. And oh my God, now they're fornicating. And it is hot.
So Fergus reaches over and untwists his hand,
Oh, okay.
slides the hand in the pocket, and pulls out the dildo he always keeps in the right hand pocket, and slowly twists it on, but he just doesn't know if he's in the right headspace to take the time and effort he likes to give to Marsley. After all, he now knows that Claire is a witch. How does he tell her? But his wife's heaving bosom is directly in front of his face. What does Fergus do?
He licks that tit.
Yay!
And he says, Zut alors, my love. Zut alors, mon ami.
Guess what? Marsley kisses him. What? I love you so much. I love you too. Guess what? What? Claire is a time traveler.
She goes, oh, you mean you didn't know that?
Fergus slowly takes the dildo off.
Don't be like that. Husband, you didn't, have you heard the songs they sing? They're about space sometimes. They're about doing the twist. They're about
Submarines.
submarines.
Yes.
That is a futuristic. That and hoverboards. Those are the things that always indicate that someone has traveled from the future. I just assumed. Also, Claire, every once in a while, just says out loud to herself, "Wow, I wish I was in 1969 again. I miss taking a shower." So I figured. She's no very subtle. She's no a very good time traveler.
Fergus shakes his head and he says, "No, I thought you told me everything." And slowly trudges back as Lizzie dear and Bob dear finish under the light of the August moon. So that means that Marsley is distracted. So she can't really look at Fergus leave because she's too into what she's watching over here. True love.
Fergus, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Two people who used to be dear and then were used to be people, but now they're dear. Two people are making sweet passion love to each other in the shade of a giant... What kind of trees are they in North Carolina?
Pine.
Pine tree?
And
You're
Fergus
just gonna walk away from this?
slowly pulls the tricorn hat out as he shakes his head and just keeps walking. He's so dispirited.
Man.
And she's-
Marsley makes herself a little, like, I'm assuming she's in tall grass. She sort of like pads down the tall grass to make herself a little nest.
She settles in.
I don't need you anyway. And she takes out of her spore,
Yeah.
her spore, a definite dildo.
Yay!
Cut to,
15 minutes and one audience thing left to go.
we cut to Fergus. He's just sitting on his trundle bed, his hay-take mattress
Trundle bed.
with furs. No, Germain sleeps in the trundle bed. That child never sleeps. Who are we kidding?
Is he surrounded by children right now?
Yes, he's surrounded by children. They're all speaking French and attempting to kill each other. And he is just staring sadly at his library card. I thought more knowledge would bring more joy. Instead, it brought only pain.
And then
And then an accordion starts like...
I've got 99 problems, but ignorance isn't one.
is not one. Marsley comes into the room aglow.
But soaking wet, remember it's raining.
Yes. Just
Her
everything.
hair is plastered, her bosom is heaving. She looks very satisfied.
You can see the children look at her and I'll go, well, time to go. And she snaps and all the children scatter because that is the appropriate response.
She looks at Fergus dead in the eye. She says, Fergus, your lack of observational skills are not my problem. If you wanted to know what was going on with the very strange woman we have lived with for nigh on a decade, perhaps you should have just taken your head out of your French ass and paid attention to the people around you. Now, I do not mind that you're testy with me. I mind that you left me alone in a field of hay while two beautiful deer pleasure each other. To pleasure myself. You have two choices. No, I'm French. You have two choices. Husband, ye can get off your ass and high horse, your high ass, and do some yeoman's work on my lady bits,
Yes.
my honeypots. Or you can get out of my house, who's until I can stop being mad at you and also have another orgasm by myself. You don't understand, that was the most majestic sight any lass has ever seen, and you left me to view it alone. Well, you know what, buddy? You're lost. Now get on your knees.
And Fergus just goes,
We.
takes the hat off, drops to his knees, pulls her skirt up, and then the camera zooms up on Marsley's face as she nods to herself.
This was a good day's work. Meanwhile, back in the surgery, Claire is picking up the pieces of moldy bread that she dropped, and saying to herself, everyone's gonna know now. Fergus cannot keep a secret to save his life. I'm not supposed to know any of his children's names. He told me them all. I don't know why I said that. I'm extremely tired. Do you have any idea how hard it is to sleep in this place when there are so many windows? It's never dark. Never. Moonlight, sunlight, and I'm just constantly boning. I don't understand. But the problem is, Fergus is going to tell everyone. Jamie, and then the camera reveals that Jamie is hulking in the doorway, like just with that
Bowed up.
that extra big neck that Jamie
Bowed
got
up.
after season
Lats
3.
are in swole.
And he's wearing a coat and he says, Claire, dinner fash. No one will believe that Frenchman.
And Claire stands up with mold still on her hands and kind of looks down and nods and wipes her hand off and then just throws herself at him.
Well, let's go to bed. Now we cut to 1995.
And
Chabon.
At the Stone Circle. And suddenly, out of nowhere, a woman with really well exfoliated hands materializes. She falls down.
God, it never gets easier.
And there's a man standing there waiting for her.
He's holding a briefcase.
What?
Guess first, I don't remember.
Yeah!
That was the best timing I've ever heard in my life.
Yep.
And I do comedy. So, thank you.
All right.
The
Man
Quizzically.
looked,
at
Chabon.
he,
raised
One eyebrow.
one eyebrow. Come on.
one
Eyebrow.
and
He.
Said
Chabon,
Welcome.
to
your
Future.
get
ready.
Baby.
Chabon.
Raises
Herself.
Is that one? Oh, herself.
Herself.
And
says,
Baby?
dare
you
Think.
me
a
Baby?
I
am
Not.
a
baby.
Oh my god, it never gets easier, just like going through the stones.
God, I have hair in my mouth.
Oh, it sucks so hard.
And the man, he raises the other incredibly well sculpted eyebrow.
You can do both.
They stop, and he says, I know you for what you are. I now speak without my false American accent, and I say to you, Chabon, who has failed to secure the evidence I need and to reclaim my little poison detecting necklace, that you are the weakest link. And the Comte Saint-Germain picks up Chabon's briefcase, and now he's got 2 briefcases, and he walks with the 2 briefcases back towards the city of Glasgow, present day. Well, 1995.
1995. So there's a lot of Delia shit going on, and you hear Groove is in the heart somewhere.
A car drives by, and you can hear New Kids on the Block
Yes.
flaring through the windows. And he walks with his hot,
His
stupid
hot fox
face.
ass.
His
God, why is he
stupid,
so hot?
Evil face that's so hot, and he walks into Glasgow, and he opens the door to a pub, and he says, "She has failed us again." And up at the bar, turns and looks at what the person at the bar turns slowly and looks at the Comte Saint-Germain and we see that it is
Frank.
What?
corpse.
Scorps. Frank.
No, question.
Huh.
Frank alive? Frank dead? Ghost Frank? Time traveling Frank? Which Frank are we talking about?
We're talking of Frank, Ghost Frank.
There's a ghost at the
He
bar?
sees
There's a
Ghost
ghost
Frank?
at the bar. It's
Holy
Ghost
shit,
Frank.
that changes everything.
That changes every. I mean, we knew there were ghosts, but. And Frank says,
I'm sorry, Frank's ghost.
Frank's ghost
Frank's
says,
ghost.
I'm sorry. Do you think that's acceptable to me?
What? Frank's ghost is a mob boss?
He sets down a glass, but his hands are
Ghost glass.
ghost glass. And as he sets it down, the ghost glass disappears.
And he says, well, I guess it's time to start over, you dunce. We'll find her. If it's the last thing we do in the afterlife, which is eternal. That's not even closing line. We'll find her.
They are.
In this life
Oh.
or the next. Ta-da!
Oh my god, I can't believe we actually had a resolution this time.
Well, we had a cliffhanger.
Yes, cliffhanger, but we
And
brought
then
like
there's a
3
preview.
threads
Ready?
together.
Yes. We've got time. Preview.
Preview.
And then it says, next week on Outlander.
We see Marsley sleeping it off because he really took her to town. And Fergus still sitting on the edge of the bed, just, you can tell he's thinking about things and really trying to put it all together. And like a child runs up and bucks with his knee and he just ruffles his hair absentmindedly. So Fergus in crisis, maybe.
And then he says to himself, I wonder if we will ever get horseless carriages.
Yeah.
And then we see
Trees rustling, leaves falling. The seasons are beginning to pass. And in the snow, fresh fallen small patch of snow, we see 2 hoof prints.
2 sets of hoof prints.
2 sets of close walking hoof prints.
And then the camera moves closer, and we see that one of those footprints has a trail of blood behind it.
No!
And then the last thing is we see Chabot, and she's just sitting in a stone circle, weeping into her hands, with fists full of yarn covered in her own urine. I tried. You're so hot. I tried. I peed on my rolls for you. I will have my revenge in this life or the next.
What?
Hey, that's it.
Yay! Oh my god! Good job, you! Good job, you!
Good job.
Good job to our La Carte friends and our whatever
JC
that catchphrase is for you.
Jay Sweet Pray. You
I
guys,
need
that
to tell
timing
you,
was great.
You are now operating in the grand tradition of people who come to see us do these things and then manage to consciously or unconsciously troll us a little bit when we need it. Because the first time we ever did a live fanfic, our friend Ruth's husband, we said, hey, does anyone have any questions? We're done now. And our friend Ruth's husband, Jimmy, stood up and he said, I do. We said, yeah, Jimmy. He said, what's Outlander? And it was magical. I salute you both.
Thank you.
That is the show. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us on this incredibly terrible night. Weather-wise, you are all great. The world is a mess, but you are great. Great night, bad weather, bad existence. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Podlander. And also, we're recorded. By the way, this was recorded live, so you're going to be on a podcast, guys. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Podlandercast. You can find us on Twitter at Podlandercast. You can find us on Instagram at Podlander Presents and Sickbird Jane and Podlandercast. Right? And you can also find us on Patreon, where we do bonus episodes. We have a new bonus series called What Now?
What now?
Where we talk about a thing that he just makes us talk about. Last week it was Christmas decorations, and it started by a long, awkward pause, and then somebody said, mistletoe is creepy.
Yeah,
From there.
it is.
It is creepy. Anyway, that's patreon.com/Podlander-Drunkcast. And we want to thank all the patrons whose names I will read in the thing after this because I do not have my computer with me. But thank you for all of your support, and we will hopefully see you at another con. Stay safe, be well, commute safely. I hope you bought cool prints.
Bye.
Bye.